All right, y'all. Happy Thursday. I got some friends with me today. See all these people? Like, who said we look like we're on Hollywood Squares? I was going for the Brady Bunch look and feel.
Close the door, baby. Close the door. Yeah, she started whispering now.
Saturday.
And what happened? Oh, I see.
So we're trying Zoom for the first time, as you all can see. So can y'all see it? Are we live?
We are live.
We are live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear you.
All right. Listen, y'all, I got some of my most favorite Redskins fans joining me today, you guys. Just so you know, if you're joining the live chat on the Facebook stream, we have about a 20-second lag. So just give us a minute to try to get it together or see your comment. You do want to comment and engage in the conversation with us. But I know we're starting about 5 minutes late, so we're going to go ahead and get it going. I have to definitely introduce everyone, but I would love for them to introduce themselves, actually. So I'm going to have each one of the fans joining me tonight introduce themselves, their name, where they're from, and when they became a Redskins fan. Who wants to go first? Don't all jump in.
I'll go first. Lee Best, Landover, Maryland. When I become a Redskins fan. 1979, when I came out my mama's womb. There you go.
Who else? I could go in order of how I see you guys, which would mean...
All right, well, I'm Russ McCray from Washington, D.C., lifelong Redskin fan, all my life.
All right, I'm the other Russ. I'm Russell Moore, Washington, D.C., pretty much all my life. I'll put a number on it. I say about 40 years.
Well, I'm Gino from Southeast DC, and Redskins fans all my life in Southeast, not Southeast.
Who else?
My name is Mazdak. I've been a Redskins fan ever since I watched NFL football, whatever year that was.
My name Bernard.
Yo.
My name Bernard. Been a Redskins fan since sometime in the 70s when I started watching football with my dad, and that was it.
Yeah. And B-Nod ain't no fan, man.
Oh, come from Landover, live in Beltsville.
Cameron.
Yo, Cameron Mingo. Been a Skins fan since probably when Sean Terry got drafted.
Oh, he's a baby.
Varying ages. We got to have varying ages, you guys. Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca. I've been a Redskins fan all my life. I'm from Maryland, so I love all DC sports, especially the Wizards mostly, but Redskins are always my second love. I see somebody's got an AI background. That's pretty funny. But this isn't about basketball. This is about football. So.
Yeah, Becca is that's my basketball. That's my Wizards. That's my fellow Wizards media colleague.
That's right.
DC sports, so she can come along. Let's see. John Adams.
Hey, I'm John Adams, straight out of Sea Pleasant. I've been a Redskins fan since Billy Kilmer, Sonny Jurgens.
He's definitely not a baby.
No.
No.
Who we got left? TB?
What's up? How y'all doing, man? My name's Terry. I'm a walking oxymoron. Actually, I'm from Baltimore. I've been a Redskins fan my whole life. So it's crazy. And also, shout out to Candy. Shout out to HU, the real HU. You know.
You know, I had to add a Hamptonian to the conversation.
You know how we do. You know how we do.
Any way I can bring it in the conversation, I do.
Go Pirates.
So, Sherrod.
Yes, ma'am.
The originator.
I am he. Indeed.
Yes. Introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I am Sherrod. I was born and raised in the area. I have been a Redskins fan my whole life. Grew up watching the team with my pops sitting on his lap, and been a fan ever since. Great times and the awful ones. The laugh, cried, did a whole bunch of other stuff I wasn't supposed to do because of the Redskins.
Haven't we all? So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So speaking of laughing and the crying and everything that we've done as Redskins fans, I want everyone just real quick, what's one word to describe how you feel as a Redskins fan right now?
I'll go first. Optimistic.
I guess for me, it's
So wait, John said optimistic. Russ, you said
cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Anxious.
Hopeful.
2 words.
I was gonna say hopeful too.
I was gonna say optimistic.
I was gonna say optimistic, and then someone else took my word. So people get confident. That's a good one.
God, nice.
Yeah, I'm
gonna say tired. I'm tired.
Lee. Lee. Tell the truth, Lee. Okay, so you tired. Tell us why you tired, Lee.
Tired. Man, it's been too long, man. We've been too inconsistent for too long, man. I mean, we can't be going up and then go down for 3 years, 5 years, then get another up season. I'm tired of that, man. We need to be consistent at the top, man. We got to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful though.
Yeah.
You tired? So Bernard, you tired too? You just hope.
Yeah, I mean, we all are. I mean, especially if you came up during the good times. I mean, even if you didn't come up during the good times, it's like we just can't get it right. And every time it looks good, like right now, it looks great. I love this part of the season. This is the fun part. Reality gonna hit soon. Now I don't want to see it. I hope reality's better this time. But yeah, I'm tired like everybody else. But hopeful though. Mm-hmm. I gotta win sometime.
I heard somebody say anxious.
Yeah, I said anxious.
I heard that.
I'm anxious. I'm just trying to see how this going to produce and be on the field. I mean, I'm excited about our draft picks. I can see the vision, especially our defense, but I just want to see how that translates to the field. So, and I'm a little worried, they're not going to get the practices they usually get. So I'm just anxious and a little cautious at the same time.
Now let me say this. I heard Mingo say he's been a fan since Sean Taylor. You don't know the feeling of having a parade go down the road team on. And that's something that you guys that haven't had it need. Y'all need that. You need to know what that feel like.
I feel bad for y'all.
I promise you, we used to be good.
Bad.
Tell you, I skipped my senior year. Well, I skipped school that day to go to the first grade in 82. It was unbelievable. You got to experience it.
Yeah, I never been to a parade before. When they won in 91, I was in high school. I remember what it was like. I remember 87 clearly. And 91, I remember 91, man. We was loving Laurel that year. And then after that, the bottom fell out.
This is the first off season where I don't feel like I'm being sold on why why we're heading in the right direction though. I feel like this is the first season where I'm not being marketed. It's just there's changes that have been made. So that's why I'm hopeful this off season. Because normally I feel like I'm getting sold, and as a salesperson, I love to be sold. You know, you when you sell, you love a good pitch. But this this doesn't feel like a pitch this year. So I'm hopeful, and the expectations are realistic. Nobody's saying we're going, undefeated or nothing crazy like that. We know it's going to be a uphill battle, but we're headed the right direction for the first time, I think.
And we're still operating without a GM, right?
I think Kyle Smith is GM.
A label.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the label.
Not officially yet.
Nah, we don't got one yet.
Not officially yet.
Right. But man,
We still got Dan Snyder as the owner, right?
oh well, that kind of leads to my next question based on what Maz just said and Russ Moore, what you just said. So what changed? What do you think changed? If this is the first year you don't feel like you're being sold, you're not giving a sales pitch. So what do you think changed?
Think of
That's one of the reasons why I'm saying I'm hopeful, because I don't see where the top has really changed. I mean, we got rid of Bruce. That's a good thing. But we still got Dan. And it's like, anytime things start to go a little wrong, that's when Dan want to start coming in, and that's when things start going down. So I'm hopeful, but I'm not I'm trying my best not to get excited because I'm tired of the letdown, man.
Let's think of Bruce Allen is not here. That makes a difference.
Yes,
And
big
it just
difference.
it feels it's like a load lifted off.
And if you guys remember last season, there were talks about Dan Snyder going to other people and getting advice from successful business people. That one, to be someone who's a billionaire and to be able to, get your heads out of the cloud and say, all right, obviously whatever I'm doing has been wrong. Now this might be just the way it was portrayed to us, but we can only go off of what we know and what we see. So that's something to kind of look at and be like, oh, okay, well, and then the steps he took after that. He fired Bruce Allen, cleaned house, even people like what's his name that did the contracts where even fans kind of liked. He was gone. I don't know if y'all can remember his name or not, but it's different.
Yeah, I think it's the mouthpiece of the organization at this point. Like you listen to Ron Rivera talk, you kind of believe in, you kind of believe in him. We heard Bruce Allen for so long. We heard Vinny, like Mazdak said, became a sales pitch every year. So, now it's just kind of like, hey, look, we're gonna wait and see. Like everything they ask him, he comes back with the stuff that we always say we want to hear somebody say. We want to wait and see. So he's coming off as cautiously optimistic, just let look, we're gonna play hard. And I think that's one thing we just wanted was just say you're gonna play hard and that's it. And that's what we get now.
So I love the coaching change. I love the coaching change. I'm praying it works out. But honestly, what I'm starting to see is Marty Schottenheimer all over again. You got a guy that comes in that's a defensive-minded guy who brings in structure, who brings in that attitude, who wants to get his guys in the building. And soon as things starts going bad, like someone said earlier, Dan ain't gonna start, putting his nose in there. I mean, yes, he asked for some advice and everything, but Danny got that short man complex where he want to be in control. But just as a fan, like we used the word optimistic earlier, I'm optimistic about it, but I don't know, man. I'm still a little worried because Ron he has a strong voice as we all see right now, and I can see him getting into it behind the scenes and be like, you know what, my contract says you got to pay me, fire me, just roll out. So.
Listen, if we can be even close to how the year we had with Marty, remember we went to the NFC Championship that year. We didn't really have no downturn with Marty. After that, he just got rid of him. So
That's
we
my
get
point.
close to that. And I think Ron, the difference with Ron is he's going to be open to a better offensive, scheme versus Marty. Marty was like running defense. That's it. We'll throw it once in the blue moon. But it was successful, man. So I'm hoping for at least some medium success this year. I'm trusting the process. But I like Ron. I like the hire.
I think my biggest thing is
I think the difference
it was
between Marty and Ron is a little more politically correct. So he'll know how to handle Dan. He'll know how to work Dan. So whereas Marty was straightforward, straight to the point, and really direct, Ron really knows how to politically make his moves enough so he won't ruffle Dan's feathers as much. So I think he'll be okay.
Compared to what we had last year, the guy that's in the house now is a football guy. At the very least, he knows it. So it's made a difference.
I think also, I think, like Lee, you made a good point talking about Marty Schottenheimer, but you got to think Dan has failed with Marty already. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So like Dan at that point in time was still kind of fresh. He didn't have all the failures he's had now. After Marty, what we do? Spurrier after that. You know what I mean? So you got to figure he's gonna have failure after failure after failure. So I kind of think he'll get us at least a little bit of time. Urban Meyer's sitting there, but I think he kind of has to at this point because nobody's going to games. So you got to do something.
Oh, people going to the game, just not our fans.
Yeah, true.
This past season, I've never seen it like this though. It was crazy. Like even at the beginning of the season, it was getting bad.
I was in Miami when the plane flew over, saying fire Bruce Allen. I was like, this is an all-time low.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm tailgating. I looked up in the skies. I'm like, am I seeing this for real? Someone spent money to have a plane fly over and say fire Bruce Allen.
That's real.
I was like,
I went to the San Francisco game, and there was so many San Francisco fans there. It just was depressing. It was awful.
You got some more?
Now let me ask y'all something. I think I still heard a little bit of skepticism around Dan Snyder being able to mind his beeswax and mind his business. I see Russ Moore shaking his head real like.
Yeah.
So, for me, I felt some hope that Dan would come around a little bit when the Redskins allowed the former starting left tackle to seek his own trade, because that's not something that they would normally do, right? But I felt like that was a sign that things were looking up. Maybe Dan is gonna let it go. He signed those papers, and I was appreciative that he did that. And I was hopeful. I got hopeful, like, wow, maybe he is changing. But I'm gonna go back to Russ Moore. I guess you don't think it's gonna happen. Dan hasn't changed.
Nah, because this is what he does. He brings in a new coach. He tells the coach, you got total control. He did that with Shanahan. He did that with other coaches. And as soon as things start to go down, that's when he starts to get back into the mix. And then, we wind up where we have, and then we right back where we were before, trying to find a new coach. There were times where we got quarterbacks that had 3 and 4 coaches every year at one point, like, running different systems. You're not going to win that way. You're not going to win that way. And as long as Snyder has his nose in it, like, he's got to be totally. You don't really hear about owners sticking their nose in it the way Snyder does, especially when things start to go down. That's what's stopping me from being excited about what's going on right now. I'll get excited in a couple of years. We'll see what happens.
Any other thoughts on Dan? Has he turned the corner? Will he mind his business, or will it be more of the same after a while?
So wait and see approach.
Yeah. I think we'll see this year.
Wait and see approach.
Yeah. Yeah, because this year's going to be a process. If everybody think we're going to be real successful, I'm just saying, they got to learn a new offense, new defense, under the circumstances. So it's going to be a test for Dan. If Dan can stay out of mind his business this year, then I'll be optimistic after that. But we'll see.
So we really got to be real with this. We know we rebuilding this thing up right now. And we hope Dan stays out of it. But a part of our problem also is within our division. You got the GM in Philly. That dude is good. He put something together, and he keeps bringing in parts and parts and parts, getting parts on the low too at that. not costing no money, no low risk, high reward type of deal. Hopefully Dallas gives Dak all that money, and therefore all their money be tied up and they can start falling apart.
Yeah.
The Giants are sneakily, they still competitive with what they got. So we got to take care of home, but at the same time, our division is not no slouch anymore.
So let's move to a division conversation real quick. Let's talk about it. I mean, before we even get to the division, let me hold off on that. We just had what I believe was a solid draft, and for those of us that are hopeful, was a key indicator of what we can be looking for into the future. Now, I think the last couple of years draft picks, they're pretty solid. I don't think we've seen all that they can do based on the coaching staff, but I do have my own high hopes on seeing how this new staff will come in and really develop those guys and get the maximum potential out of them. But with all that being said, and you look at this past draft, I mean, how are you feeling about this draft class? Did the Redskins address some of the needs that they really need to address in this draft class to be competitive in the division? Because we know we first got to win the division to get to the playoffs. So I'm gonna call on Sherrod, because Sherrod, you've been quiet. The originators.
I like this. I like to sit back and listen and just hit the clippers. I like this,
The teacher just called on you.
I think that what they've done a lot with this particular draft, after going back and kind of looking at it, Ron Rivera went out and got his guys. He got guys that he wants for what he wants to do, not necessarily for the positions that you need right now based off of last year's team. He did it based off what he wants to do to build for the future. So that's kind of how I looked at this draft. And he kind of looked at some of the pieces that he had, some of the young pieces, and some of the pieces he thought might be replaceable, not only based on how their tenure here, but also based on of how long that he wants to build going forward. So I mean, I'm optimistic about it.
Any other thoughts, like based on the draft and comparatively speaking, Russ McCray? I know it's several Russes on here, so I have to make sure I know. I know you get really into like grades, like draft grades and everything. So, like, what grade would you give the Redskins this year on the draft? I know sometimes you gotta wait and see, like we all know, but comparatively speaking to the rest of the division, what do you think in terms of just overall draft grade? How do we do compared to the division?
Well, I think they did a decent job. Anytime you can draft a player such as Chase Young, the second overall pick, that automatically validates your draft. And I think that they went out and they addressed some of the things that we said all year that we needed was team speed, with the third round pick. So I think that we also wanted to get weapons for Haskins. So we got the gentleman from Liberty. So I think that we went out and we tried to address some needs. Also, when we traded away Trent, we went right out and got the left tackle from LSU. So I think that was really, really important and really, really big for this draft. So overall, I think it was about a B to a B- draft, because I think they did address some needs, and they did what they could, without having that second round pick.
This second, I need to go ahead and shout out some of the people. One of the guests, she couldn't get on. Roxy Johnson has one of my most favorite tailgates out at the park. She was unable to join, but she is watching on the live stream. Robbie Gross from Sports on the Hill podcast. Shout out to you. Other awesome Redskins fans are on as well, so just wanted to shout them out before we move on to the next topic. So last year, on my birthday, in my birthday week, I spent my time at Redskins Park for OTAs. And I distinctly remember everybody being like, why are you here on your birthday? And I was like, well, why wouldn't I be here? You know, being all cheer. This is fantastic. And that was also when everything started going down. You know, that was when it became public. You know, Trent didn't show up. Reuben Foster goes down the third play of practice. He's screaming and hollering. And I was like, this is why I should have stayed home on my birthday. Like they all telling me, why are you here? I thought it was the great thing to do. It's fun. So I thought about that yesterday. Like, what did I do last year? I thought about that, and I thought about how terrible the day ended up being out there anyway. Because it was just automatically, everything just went to crap with both of those situations. Everybody's mood just went downhill. But I can't help but to think, at least everyone was at OTAs and they were in person. They were physically there, right? And practicing. Now with COVID-19, you know, they're relying on virtual meetings and all of that. I really want to hear you all's perspective on if you think the virtual approach will lend itself to being effective, or if you really can't tell unless you're on the, because we don't know how long this is going to last. So what are your concerns about the virtual approach given the pandemic?
So,
well, mine is really the quarterback situation with Haskins. He already went through a transition last year with the coach being fired and him not really having the preparation that he needed until, you know, Jay got fired. And then he goes into this situation where he's not able to work with his players. He's not able to get in the meeting rooms with the coaches. So, you know, with the young receivers and the quarterback, I think that this is going to be a tough transition for them.
I mean, I think football is football. If you're kind of, if your mind is doing what you're supposed to be doing, prepare all the time, you should be able to pop in and kind of keep going, kind of get acclimated as you go. Once you get there. My point is, I want to ask, are we going to give them pass because they had a new coach and it's kind of transition season and what's going on with them not being able to meet the way they used to? So, do we give them a pass on that?
No, they don't get no pass. I mean, the only thing that's messing up with the virtual reality, virtual coaching and stuff is just the on-field timing and getting in sync on the field and, you know, running around the equipment on. Haskins got to learn. You know, he got to be. This right here is just him being in the film room and learning.
Pretty much.
And that's for everybody. So their whole football IQ just has to up right now. Because when everybody get in the field at the same time, everybody got to learn how to sync together. But right now, they need to get the football IQ up. So with this new coaching staff coming in, what they want to run, you need to sit down, watch film, learn, ask questions, learn. If not, what's the boy, Kyle Allen, is going to take his job. So, I mean, this is not going to hurt too much.
I mean, that was one of the questions I had for you all. I said, if they get in a situation where, because we don't know how this thing is going to go with COVID-19, and it's kind of like it was already mentioned in a previous press conference or interview with Ron Rivera, they get in a situation, they only have a couple of weeks to practice on the field. Who are you going with? Like, do you go with Haskins or do you go with Kyle Allen? Or are they on an equal playing field at this time?
That's going to be up to Haskins. Mm-hmm. That's going to be up to Haskins and how the coaches feel when he returns. If he's done what Lee said and prepared, getting the books, you know, he dropped weight, looks like he's taking it seriously, and he comes out and with the time that he has, makes the most of it, I think he'll give himself a shot because they want him to play. And I think that's the key. They want him to play.
Yeah, I agree. I think all that talk of, you know, well, we got Kyle Allen here ready to play, and Kyle Allen's ready to go if Kyle Allen has to go. I think all that was just the motivation, just to tell him, look, you know, same thing Ron said when he came in. I want to see Dwayne be a leader. So I think all that was just extra motivation, like just in case you forgot, I got Kyle Allen sitting here. And you got enough folks in the media making sure that he remembers that Kyle Allen was here. So it's either you do the job or you don't. And if you don't, we're gonna sit you down. And that's just it. But I think we're gonna start out with Dwayne. I think he's gonna start, but I think he can play himself out the position. I don't think he's gonna lose it early.
I think he'll be good. I mean, the good thing is we got Adrian, so we got a couple of running backs, so we're gonna have a good running game. I like how he responded to it. You know what I mean? He's gonna be decent in a way where he's gonna not mess up the game. I mean, so I mean, them youngins need that type of kick in the butt for him to do what they're supposed to do. And I like how he responded, so I think he'll be all right.
Yo, we are so bad that our best offensive weapon might be a 36-year-old grown man running the ball.
But it's AP though.
AP.
I'm just saying.
I can see if it was TJ Duckett, but it's AP.
I mean, that Bama, he averaged 4.5 yards last year, man.
He's not a regular human being, but
Hey, I see what you're saying though, Lee. I see what you're saying though, dog. Like
all these young guys was like, man, we got AP.
It doesn't sound promising, dog.
All these young backs out there, we're like, man, pull them out.
Man, I mean,
that brings up my next question, and I know we already been 30 minutes. Y'all see how fast that 30 minutes went by? No question. See how quickly it went by? But I want to ask this because what's his name? Jason Lockett, however you say it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he made that comment, about Haskins, he's about to be set up for failure. But I wasn't even really listening to any of that. I mean, I listened to some of it just to be objective and think about it. But to Lee's point about having Adrian Peterson and really only having Adrian Peterson, JLC made the comment of there's no potential weapons. Or no weapons, not potential. No weapons. Y'all agree with that? That there's no weapons?
Nah,
there's nothing no one else can take.
I disagree.
Nah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. Nah, I say there's no proven weapons except for McLaurin.
Right.
But I think that's where the coaching staff has to come in and maximize the talent that we had previously and maximize these new guys that we just brought in. I think we definitely have some young pieces. But if he said they were unproven, then I would have completely agreed with him. But just to say that they don't have any, it's false. I think it's false.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, the young kid from Memphis that we drafted, he's explosive. And then Bryce Love should be back this year. We got to see what he can give us. And then you still got Bad Knees Guy, so
That's my guy.
Bad Knees Guy.
My guy. He coming through this year though.
Bad Knees Guy. That guy stay off that social media, man.
That's Bernard.
My guy.
Bernard sent him some glucosamine in the offseason.
He gonna tweet some more videos for you, Lee. Some workout videos.
Hey, Bernard turned off Guy's Wi-Fi, man.
Hey man, I wish I could. I don't even look at it. I saw a video on Facebook the other day when they was playing Madden, and I was like, I don't see what he say.
Well, y'all, look, we are at our time. We have officially concluded our first Redskins fan roundtable. Give yourselves a round of applause.
We also wish you a happy birthday because it's her birthday week.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Candy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I was saying to you, but I can't
Sharon,
sing.
I can't stand that guy.
Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining. We're gonna have this be a recurring thing. So for folks that are watching, we're gonna have recurring Redskins fan roundtables with a small group, very similar to this setting. You may see some of these folks again if they're willing to come back. You may see some new faces as well. So I appreciate y'all so much for watching. As you all know, we'll be back. Talk to y'all later.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birthday.
See you.